I think it's important to have a game plan in the sense of how you're going to manage your mind. It doesn't make sense to have a game plan for where you're going to hit every shot, because other than the tee balls, you don't really know where the ball is going to end up. So I think it's important to game plan from a course management standpoint with your tee ball, but after that, it's more of being prepared with mentally the processes you're going to go through throughout the day. Basically, what I tell all the juniors, college tour players, anybody, is their job is to manage their thinking, which means you're accountable for what comes into your mind. You're not just subject to another guy annoying you, or the fact that I started 3 over through 2 or 2 over through 5. Like, you get to choose how you think. Everybody can't hit it like the best players in the world, but you can think the best way, or just as good as anybody else in the world. So manage my thinking means I have a process that I'm going to stick to, and I'm choosing what comes into my mind. Second part of that would be to manage the ball. And really what that means is it doesn't have to look a certain way. It doesn't have to feel a certain way. It's not going to be like every day, because you're not a robot. So it's managing the ball from, like, when I get calls from players and they're like, I missed it right all day. And I'm like, you missed it right all day? You never hit a shot left? No. Well, you should have scored well, because you did a poor job of managing the ball. A one-way miss is very manageable. It's when you have a two-way miss that you get in trouble. But so manage my thinking to manage the ball to shoot the lowest score possible. And what that means is 6 is still better than a 7, right? And 8's still better than a 9, as bad as that might be. But sometimes you forget that, especially like in college golf, and you think your score's not going to count, and you're 5 over at the turn, and other guys are playing well, and then somebody has a triple late and your 77 counts, and you could have shot 75, but you kind of bagged it coming in, right? And you didn't stay in your process. You didn't really stay engaged in the round. And so just realizing I'm going to try to shoot the lowest score possible. And that's what the best players in the world do realize. A 6 is still better than a 7, even though they don't want to make any 6s. So it's manage my thinking to manage the ball to shoot the lowest score possible that day, because every day is going to be different. And if we have a beautiful 85-degree day here at Sea Island with no wind, the ball is going to travel X amount of yards. And if it's, happens to be one of those days where it's in the low 60s and we got a hard north wind and you're playing the first hole into the wind, the ball's not going to go as far as it did the day before. So you got to manage your expectations about, okay, every day I can't shoot 66. Sometimes 74 is a good score. So that's really what it talks about, is especially a lot of younger players think, I did this one day, I should do that again. I hit this shot this way. I mean, nobody thinks if you made a hole-in-one the last time you played a hole that you should make a hole-in-one the next day. But other than that, anything's fair game. And so I just try to help them come up with a process of, this is what I'm going to do. That is my job. My job's not to break par or to get off to a good start. My job is to manage my thinking, to manage the ball, to shoot the lowest score possible that day or today.